Linda, can we have a roll call?
I didn't hear anything. Did you call me?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
Councilmember Bagby,
Aye. Here. present.
Councilmember Brigham,
Here.
and Vice Mayor Paula is absent, as well as Councilmember Russell. Mayor Walter,
Here.
thank you.
Okay. Conflict of interest, anyone?
Based on some comments, I'm recommending that we pull consent calendar item number 1, and we'll place those minutes on the agenda at your next council meeting.
Okay. So let the records reflect that we will not take any action on item 1 on the consent calendar. Agenda review, any changes?
Yeah, we do have a change to the agenda tonight. We have put on the DS before you a resolution that we are recommending you take up as an urgency item. This item came up after the agenda was published last week. The procedure has to be that three-fifths of the council has to vote to amend your agenda for an urgency item. Once you do that, then we will present the urgency item, and then you'll have to, hopefully we have 3 votes to adopt the resolution. And for the benefit of the audience and our viewers on video, the item has to do with declaring a state of emergency due to the recent firestorms.
Thank you. So at this point, I'm going to call for a vote on changing the agenda and adding an item.
Right, and if the item is amending your agenda for urgency, adding an item related to the pocket fire and other firestorm-related events.
Okay. So can I have a motion on that?
Motion to approve.
Okay, a second?
I'll second.
Can we have a roll call, please, Linda?
Yes. Councilmember Bagby,
Aye.
Councilmember Brigham,
Aye.
Mayor Walter,
Aye. And we'll go ahead and put this right before new business then, if that's okay.
Fine.
All right, public comment. At this time, anyone wishing to address the City Council on items that do not appear on tonight's agenda may do so. Please step up to the podium and give us your name and address and tell us what you have to say.
My name is Bob Cox, resident of Cloverdale. Madam Walter, Mayor Walter,
That's okay.
members of the
He is
council,
outnumbered.
because of the recent events in and around our area with the fire, the Rotary Club has decided to postpone the Asti Tour Divine probably until next spring. So just wanted you to let you know that and put that in the record. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry to hear that, but we totally understand, Bob. Anyone else wishing to address the council on items that are not on tonight's agenda? Seeing no one, we'll go ahead and close that public comment section. Proclamations, presentations, anything?
No, sir.
Okay. Consent calendar. All items on the consent calendar will be considered together by one action unless the council members wish to have that item pulled. So we've already pulled item number 1, so
I would like to move to accept the consent calendar with 1 poll, and so number 2.
okay.
For approval.
Second,
Second.
roll call, Linda.
Councilmember Brigham,
Aye.
Councilmember Bagby,
Aye.
Mayor Walter,
Aye. Next item is communications. Anything, staff?
No, sir.
Okay. Public hearings, there are none. And new business, we're going to take that emergency item now. Paul, before we do that, and I realize we don't have much of an audience this evening, but because it's on YouTube and it will be on Access Hillsburg, Channel 26, which is the council meetings are now being aired 4:30 Monday through Friday. Maybe just for those that are going to be watching from home, if we could just have an update as of today, October the 10th, 2017.
Okay, very, very well, Mr. Mayor. Sunday, late late Sunday, early Monday morning, the County of Sonoma experienced extreme fire conditions, which started a series of fires in Sonoma County. I think probably the fire that is gaining the greatest attention is called the Tubbs Fire, which originated somewhere in the Calistoga area and then burned very rapidly through the wildland area between Calistoga and northern Santa Rosa, and then burned into the Rincon Valley, Fountain Grove area, and then into the urban area of North Santa Rosa. I think many of us have seen the photographs and video on television, and it's devastating. That's not the only fire that Sonoma is experiencing right now. There have been a series of fires in the Valley of the Moon area, including Kenwood and Glen Ellen. But we are also experiencing fire in northern Sonoma County. That fire is known as the Pocket Fire. Your staff, working with the Cloverdale Fire Protection District, activated a emergency operations center yesterday, and we have had that emergency operations center staffed 24 hours a day since the emergency started. Yesterday, per the city municipal code, I executed a proclamation of local emergency by the Director of Emergency Services for the City of Cloverdale. Your city manager, per your municipal code, is your Director of Emergency Services. Per that code, within 10 days of that proclamation by the city manager, the city council must ratify that proclamation by the city manager. So the resolution before you is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Cloverdale ratifying a proclamation of local emergency by the city manager, acting as the Director of Emergency Services, dated October 9th, 2017, under Chapter 2.44 of the Cloverdale Municipal Code, caused by the Pocket Fire and other firestorm events in Sonoma County that began early in the morning of the 9th of October 2017. So conditions related to the fires in Sonoma County are moving very rapidly. As of yesterday, we had been watching the Pocket Fire very closely. Evacuations occurred in the Palomino Lakes area, the Highland Ranch Road area, and along the southern end of River Road. We opened a evacuation sheltering facility at Citrus Fair, at the Citrus Fair fairgrounds, and the outpouring of community support has been tremendous. Immediately, the Latter-day Saints Church stepped up to start feeding the people that were sheltered at Citrus Fair, as well as the Rotary Club and St. Peter's Church. We have at this point received no coordination or assistance from the American Red Cross, and the Citrus Fair will continue to be a sheltering facility. At last night, there were over 200 people there. We expect from some recent reports on fire activity that just came up this afternoon that there probably is going to be additional people sheltered at the Citrus Fair tonight. They're accepting pets, small pets, as well as large animals. In addition, Patrick King out at Soil King has stepped forward for his facility for large animals to go there. The situation is highly dynamic at this point. We are participating on routine conference calls with the County Office of Emergency Services, and just this afternoon, it became clear that fire activity is continuing. And it's not fire activity in a wildland sense, and it's not just even fire activity in the wildland suburban interface. We're seeing fire in suburban urban areas, which in my career as a city manager and have responding to a lot of emergencies and many fire emergencies, we haven't ever seen fire react like this before. I even think in Southern California, the way this fire has moved into your urban areas has been quite startling to even your firefighting professionals. Resources are stretched very thin. I want to give a lot of credit to the Cloverdale Fire Protection District staff. The chief, as well as their senior battalion captain, have not been in Cloverdale because they've been assigned to fighting fire in Santa Rosa and those areas. So it's been some of the junior command that's been fighting fire, as well as firefighters from Geyserville who have been fighting fire. We have reports, though, that CAL FIRE has been moving resources up into northern Sonoma County, and we are hopeful that that continues. But we also know that especially the firefighting resources sometimes take a fair amount of time to come to bear. Your Cloverdale Fire Department or Cloverdale Police Department has been, when called on, working in the unincorporated area because the sheriff's office has been responding to the devastation of the fires in and around Santa Rosa and Rohnert Park and over in Kenwood and Glen Ellen. The resolution before you simply ratifies the action that I took yesterday by city manager's proclamation that we are in a state of emergency. It allows us to activate many of the powers and duties under your local code. It will also be communicated to the county OES, and we are hopeful that we will be receiving Federal Emergency Management Agency assistance. And we are already tracking our time and our resources that are going into this effort. With that, I know your assistant city manager has been on the OES team. Your city engineer has been on the OES team. Susie has been assigned, Susie Holmes, your new finance manager. Susie's been assigned to keep things flying straight and level in City Hall. We are not offering many services in City Hall right now that our customers are used to. We're trying our best to keep planning services going. We're trying our best to keep building services going. But if our customers come in for those services and we're not available, we'll get to them as soon as we can. We have also been experiencing communication problems. Email, we depend on Comcast for our email service, and Comcast has been down. So we have a hard time getting email service. We're having a hard time getting things listed on our website. We are able to have voice communication and text messaging, but email services have been very difficult. I think we have a workaround for payroll because people are supposed to get paid this week, but we don't have internet service. I believe we have worked out a workaround for that so that people will get paid. There is an impact on your lives of your employees and some of your consultants. I did receive communication from Chief Kramer that he had said that his family had recently sold their family home in Glen Ellen, as well as their family had sold their family business in Glen Ellen. So it's not their property anymore, but a significant amount of sentimental value, and that business and homes are gone. We also know, to touch other staff, the finance manager's son and daughter-in-law's apartment is gone. We have word that your public safety consultant, Bob Stewart's home, is gone. I know that there are some other members of the Cloverdale family employees. We understand that Shannon Peterson's home, even though she was in an evacuation zone, at this time we understand that was saved. We understand that Rafael Miranda's residence was was saved. It appears to be just completely random on whose homes were lost and whose were saved. So I know that we're all thinking very much and praying very much for those people that have their homes that have lost their homes. And right now, I heard a report that there are up to 200 missing people. There have been 9 confirmed fatalities. Many of the missing people are not thought to be fatalities, but not able to get in contact with their loved ones because of the internet is down and other communication problems. But I think we can expect that the number of fatalities is going to go up. The speed that the fire moved into northern Santa Rosa is just extraordinary. I think we've all seen pictures of the Hilton Hotel is gone. The Round Barn is gone. Kohl's is gone. Many of the other commercial businesses in and around Hopper Lane are burned up and gone, and a number of residents in the Coffee Park area are gone. We understand Cardinal Newman suffered considerable damage. I believe that the library was completely razed. There's also been fire in Windsor. There's been fire in Rohnert Park. And when the fire gets in and amongst in the urban environment the way it has, it's very difficult for the firefighters to protect all the exposures, even though they have water. And so it's a very, again, very dangerous and dynamic situation. We are watching very closely what's going on here in Cloverdale, and our advice to the people that live in the surrounding area is they should, especially the surrounding area to the east of Cloverdale, they should be watching out and following the advisories very closely. And our advice to anybody who feels threatened by fire or in danger is they should evacuate. Do not wait for the official order to come down. If you feel that the smoke is getting close or you see flame and you are afraid of for your life as well as the life of your pets, is that you should leave. We understand people want information. We are doing our best to get the information out. We have set up in Cloverdale a local hotline, 894-1744. We are doing our best at least twice a day to give updates on that telephone line for people locally so that we can share information. But I ask everybody out there, please reserve calling 911 for a true emergency involving life safety. Please don't call 911 to ask questions about where the fire is, or should I evacuate? Please reserve 911 for true emergencies. Somebody is hurt. There's an accident. 911 operators have been reporting that they are getting numerous calls related to questions related to fire status. If you have questions like that, please call the number that I said, the 894-1744 number, and we will do our best to provide up-to-date information at that number. So with that, Mr. Mayor, I know you've been deeply involved and at the EOC, as well as going to speak to people at the shelter. And your staff welcomes you and the council members' involvement in us facing this terrific challenge.
Well, thank you, Paul. And as soon as we're done with the resolution, I just have a few words to say as well. So with that being said, there is a resolution.
City of Cloverdale City Council Resolution Number 072-2017, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Cloverdale ratifying a proclamation of local emergency by the city manager acting as the Director of Emergency Services, dated October 9th, 2017, under Chapter 2.44, Disaster Council and Emergency Services of the Cloverdale Municipal Code, caused by the pocket fire and other firestorm events in Sonoma County that began in the early morning of the 9th of October 2017.
Second.
Could we have a roll call, please, Linda?
Councilmember Bagby?
Aye.
Councilmember Brigham?
Aye.
Mayor Walter?
Aye. Before we move off of this subject, and council members weigh in if you have something to say, but I just have to commend staff. Paul, you did an excellent job. David, I was just so impressed and so proud of the way our city staff was handling that. Linda was there, Sandy was there, the police officers were there. We had volunteers come in. We had Ed Bowen, we had Scott Albright come in, retired police sergeant. I'm sorry. Bonnie over at the Citrus Fair, God bless her. She was just hustling for the last couple of days, and it's not over yet. But, I just wanted to commend staff, and I'm going to do this over the next couple meetings as things start to unfold. But I just want to say thank you for all of your hard work. Mark, keeping on top of things. The little things that you don't even think about, like calling the pharmacies to make sure they were open, calling the gas stations to make sure that they have plenty of gas in the tanks for customers that wanted to fill up. Just little things like that that you would never think of, and they knew right what to do immediately. And have you ever worked through an EOC before? I guess you must have. I mean,
I don't think this is your staff's first rodeo.
Okay.
I've worked I worked the 2005 fires in Mendocino County. So you do have an experienced staff that they've been in emergencies before.
Yeah.
We have not, one of the other things is that we have had some training on setting up the EOC with the Fire Protection District. And we were able to get it set up and operating within about 25 minutes. We were up and operating. The communication systems aren't working perfectly, but we have sufficient communications to get the word out. I think at this point, the number one message that we need to send to people is they need to keep aware of what the situation is, because it's highly changeable. Things just changed this afternoon. We actually thought things were kind of starting to tail off, but they're again this morning or this afternoon they're highly active. And matter of fact, your assistant city manager might have to excuse himself during this during this meeting.
well, like I said, I just wanted to say thank you. I only spent half the time there that you did. Not even that. I was there a couple hours on Monday, a couple hours today. But I was so impressed that the city is in good hands, and thank you for that. Marion, did you want to add something?
Well, I won't go on and on about it, but I agree with him. I was pretty impressed because I stopped at both places often, and everything, even things I was thinking about, thinking, well, okay, have we done this, have we done that? But everything was done.
Yeah.
When I got there, I said, is there anything I can do here or there? And he went, no, that's covered, that's covered. One thing I do want to be real clear about, though, is I'm getting a lot of phone calls from Palomino Lakes area, Asti up in the Hill area, and my response to all of them has been, and I don't know if it's changed now, so I want to know what to say properly, is that they can go back home, but they should leave their trucks loaded and they should leave their animals close by or down here. Is that a good thing to say?
Well, especially large animals. I think that if you live up in those areas and you have large animals, you should find somewhere alternate to take them, and I wouldn't wait until it is an emergency. Especially horses and stock, I'd be moving them. Your smaller animals, I would make sure that you knew, especially cats or indoor-outdoor cats, probably would want to make sure you know where they are and are ready to get them going. Dogs, and make sure your dogs are ready with you to evacuate. You should be preparing a go bag, making sure that you have all your important documents together, documents and photographs, and be prepared to go. And again, if you feel that there's a threat or you're afraid, don't wait until law enforcement shows up to tell you that it's time to evacuate. It's better to make arrangements and get out soon.
Most of the people I know have already brought their animals down, but I have 2 friends that are in Africa right now vacationing, and they have 3 llamas. And the llamas are still out there, and I'm wondering, they're mean. I was trying to sort of get them to go in a direction, and they weren't going. One of them laid down and just refused to move. So I'm just really kind of worried about that. And that's above and back of ASCII. So it made me worry, now that we're talking about it breaking the ridge in Geyserville, it could easily then break the ridge by ASCII. I haven't been able to see an aerial. I have no idea how bad it is right in back of there. Has anybody seen an aerial? Anybody? No?
Well, yeah. Well, that's another thing, too. I think what I'd like to do, like I said, everybody is doing such a wonderful job. I think after it's all over and we catch our breath, I'd like to pull everyone together in a little informal workshop and just say, okay, what went right and what could we improve on? For example, I heard staff say today that they had to find a way to upload payroll. You know, I mean, is Comcast our only internet service? How could we back that up? What can we improve in the operation of the EOC? There may be nothing, but bring the fire folks together, the police together, everybody that was involved, and say, okay, how could we improve this? So, but like I said, that's another topic down the road. So, but again, thank you. Anything else?
Nope.
Members of the audience, anything on that? Okay. So, I'm sorry?
Thank you, guys.
Yes. New business. Let me see. Consideration and adoption of resolution number 069, 2017, and this has to do with SB1. And Mark, this is yours.
That's correct. And so before you, I have a resolution that pretty much highlights the projects that we'll be submitting to the state for consideration of paving projects. This is the new gas tax that is basically being accounted for through the California Transportation Committee. And so we submit this list and initiate a project with the incoming funds, new funds, from the increase in the gas tax. And this is a state gas tax. So what tool we're using is a street saver tool that kind of gives several weights to use and condition of the road to give your priority projects. And so basically, we've got 4th Street listed as our #1 project. On your list also, though, it is Rockydale Lane. We simply put that on the list for consideration, but by no means do we have to use the gas tax to initiate that project. It will take some time to accumulate sufficient funds to do both 4th Street and Rockydale Lane. So, but we have it on the list. This list is not stagnant by any means. We can adjust it as needed throughout the year. So this is just, we will be modifying this list as the resources are increasing in terms of funding for other paving projects. So I have this before you, and in the name of brevity, if you have any questions, I can go over it with you, but if not, I have it there for your consideration.
Thank you, Mark. I think this has been touched by a subcommittee, so I'm just going to open it up to the council if you have any comments on this. I believe the deadline for us to get this to Sacramento is October the 16th for us to be eligible for the funding, so I'm glad we're ahead of the game here. So, council members, anything on this?
Nope.
Okay. In that case, there's a resolution. If somebody would like to offer it by title only.
I'll offer the resolution by title only. City of Cloverdale City Council Resolution Number 069-2017, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Cloverdale approving the proposed 2017-18 pavement improvement project list for eligible projects to receive funding from the Road Maintenance and Rehabilitation Act of 2017, SB1, and amending the 2017-18 budget to incorporate the list of projects.
Second.
Linda, could we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Bagby?
Aye.
Councilmember Brigham?
Aye.
Mayor Walter?
Aye. And the next item, item number 4, is consideration and adoption of Resolution 070-2017, approving co-funding for proposed downtown drainage improvement project. Mark, you got it again.
That's correct. So this is back soon after the storm that we had in February, President Day storm. We applied for funding not only for the landslide that occurred, but also to address risks that the city has in terms of the downtown drainage. As you know, we have several creeks draining through downtown through an old, probably uncalculated, unknown condition for the most part, drainage through town. It's starting to show its wear and tear. The thing's well over 80 years old, as best our estimate. So what we're starting to do is address how we can replace this. Because of the presidential offer for funding for this, we went ahead and applied for it. The thing is that FEMA requires local funding to cover our share, and what they consider our share is 25%. FEMA will give up to $3 million. So basically, we're looking at $1 million if we choose to participate in this program. And so what I'm asking is for City Council to consider the resolution before you to address how we're going to fund this downtown drainage improvement project. And I've given you some attachments to the report to kind of show you what the current alignment would look like should we get it out of the downtown area and into city streets, properly aligned it. And you can see more or less the size of the conduits. The size of the conduit only addresses, a 10 percentile rainfall event. Right now, the unknown condition of the current drainage is such that it's probably going to collapse before it sees anything significant. So basically, it's rerouting the conduit around downtown and getting it from under a lot of the properties that are in downtown. And also, I had attached figure 2, where you can see where a 100-year flood flow will significantly impact downtown with a feet to several feet of flooding in the area. And this assumes that the existing conduit still functions. So should that collapse, the flood mat would be, of course, much more significant. As you can see also, the flooding kind of cuts off the northern part of the city from the fire station, so that poses risks for us to contend with should this ever happen. So before you is a resolution authorizing us to basically borrow from the sewer fund, the enterprise fund, and to apply it towards a $1 million co-funding for this project. Right now, the current cost estimate is about a $4 million project. So we're more or less covering what we need with this project. But this project could expand to include some other items that I've mentioned before, but at this point, we're not considering it because that's not part of the FEMA portion of the funded project. I'll take any questions if you have any.
Staff, and I'm sorry, council members, any questions?
No, I'm pretty familiar with the
Yeah.
drainage system in the downtown area, and it's been a problem for years, and it is collapsing in many places. Right in front of my business one, the whole sidewalk.
First-hand
So, yeah, we
knowledge.
need to deal with
First-hand knowledge.
it. First-hand knowledge of that one.
I just want to make the comment. I want to commend Mark for pursuing this grant. And really what you're doing is you're signing a resolution that will go into the grant package that tells FEMA that we're prepared to put where the money would come for our match. It doesn't mean that we're going to be successful because it's a competitive process. But if they like our project and feel that it's a good project for mitigating flooding in Cloverdale, that we will fund our portion through a low-interest loan from our sewer fund, which has does have a good reserve in it right now. So it would be at that point we would do interfund borrowing, and we would have to put together the official loan documents through the city attorney's office to make that loan. But this is an important part of being competitive to these grants, that we show a commitment through resolution that if we are successful, we're serious and we're going to do it. I also want to comment that the size of the conduits that are considered for this drain, we're looking at a portion on the upstream side of this project, new 60-inch conduits going into 72-inch conduits. This is a big drain. As a matter of fact, I think that's a name that Mark and I have given the project, the big drain.
The big drain,
Yeah.
okay.
But you also can see from the diagram that's was prepared by West Yost that we have a significant amount of exposure to flooding in your downtown area, and just enough. It's just enough flooding to get into people's homes and businesses to really become a major problem, and it is such a problem that, you know, I think we all look back at what happened in Healdsburg with the flooding in the Safeway parking lot. That's the type of scenario that you're looking at here. Is that you know, it's not going to be it's going to be anywhere from you know, 2 inches to 12 inches of flooding, but that's going to be enough to really get in, especially in the downtown core and the commercial businesses, really be getting in many of the businesses and buildings.
It has in the past.
Just a couple of questions. Is there any time, is this time sensitive in any way?
It is time sensitive for the application. In terms of timing, when FEMA would make their decisions, that is the unknown right
Okay.
now.
What's the application deadline?
Oh, the application has been submitted, so the deadline for
Oh.
the application
So
has
that's all
come and
taken
gone,
care of?
right.
Okay.
And so
all right.
this is just a follow-up to show our commitment for the funding.
Okay. And there's no enterprise fund that can burden some of this cost?
Well, unfortunately, drainage does not have a separate you know, enterprise.
I wasn't sure if it could go under the sewer fund or
Sewer fund is for is expressly for sanitary sewer. This is storm drainage.
storm drainage.
Now, we are looking at some changes in state law that do allow you to, I believe, do allow us to establish a drainage enterprise, and we're trying to understand those. I do believe, though, to establish a separate drainage enterprise, it does call for a vote of the people to do that. So, you know, storm drainage is separate than your sanitary sewer, but it's in terms of development of infrastructure, being able to move this water, particularly now in the age of climate change. And I can tell you, you know, during last year's rain events, fortunately, we got a lot of rain, but it came over a long period of time. December 22nd, 2015, when we saw nearly 8 inches of rain in about 18 hours, and when the water started coming out of the drain at the corner of First Street and Main Street, it's clear that this type of scenario that is being demonstrated by here West Yost this is not pie in the sky. This is we see intensive microburst type rainstorms in Cloverdale, and this type of drainage problem in your downtown area could happen. Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, if I just could comment.
Sure.
Having been at the subcommittee meeting, the map is scary enough, the video is even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of, it's like watching a sci-fi movie. It's like, oh, that could be the downtown, which is basically our downtown core and our businesses and many of our residents, you know, under 3 feet of water. That's just not,
Yeah.
and having witnessed the events of the past couple of years and having had to walk past the brew pub and seeing what the effects are, it's time to act.
In one door and out the other.
In one door and out the other, yeah.
I agree.
At
Yeah.
least it worked.
It's time to act, and I think we have to do this. It's good economic development policy too, because I don't, you know, why would someone come in and develop a multi-million-dollar building when this possibility exists? I
Absolutely.
think that when we do this, it's going to set us up for a lot of success in the future. So I just think it was a tremendous amount of foresight on Mark's part, and I strongly support it. And actually, I strongly support Phase 2, which I see as then, you know, what do we do with that stormwater? Let's use it as a resource. Because there's no such thing as wastewater anymore.
Yeah, exactly. David, did you want to add
Well,
something?
Mayor Walter, if I may, just to dovetail on Councilmember Bagby's comments.
Did I steal your thunder, David?
a little
I
bit.
apologize.
That's why you go first.
Obviously, the goal of this project is to mitigate a drainage hazard and flooding from the undersized drainage that we have through downtown. But one of the other benefits of a potential project, should we be so lucky to receive funding from FEMA for it, is to look at realignment of the drainage structure in a manner that could benefit downtown property owners and actually facilitate additional redevelopment of some of those property that have been hampered because of the drainage canal going through the property. So there are some potential economic development benefits should this project go forward, and could generate some additional tax revenue through redevelopment. And given that one of the tools that we've just looked at preliminarily and we need to explore further is an enhanced infrastructure financing district, to see if that might be one of the tools that could help us potentially finance this, or at least pay some benefits back to the city in terms of the increased tax increment that might be generated from future development associated with this project.
Well, just a couple comments before I open it to the public. You know, I can't disagree that we need to improve our infrastructure. I mean, this system going through the city, as well as other systems we have, are just so outdated. I'm hoping that we can kind of piggyback on this, and while we have the ground open and laying the new pipe, if there's anything else in there that needs to be replaced, that we could also do that. I don't know where that money would come from, but, you know.
Yeah, we haven't even started to address the other utilities in the street that would need to at least, address them in terms of renewing them or relocating them.
Right. So, and the other thing too is in February or the end of January, we're going to have a mid-year budget review, and one of the things that we had requested was that we bring some future debt that the city's going to encounter to that meeting. You know, the paying for the police station and the $900,000 that we owe back to the redevelopment agency, and the list goes on. Let's think about whether this has to be brought forward at this time as well to start discussing. Lastly, my property touches one of these culverts that I own, and I'm not sure, because it's a citywide project, I don't believe I have to recuse myself. But my property has never been affected by a faulty system. So,
In general, in terms of conflict of interest, it's my background and understanding. This is related to maintenance of an existing system. So for example, an example of you don't have an economic advantage that places you at some advantage to anybody else. For example, if we were to do a paving project in front of your house, that's not a reason to have to recuse yourself because of a conflict of interest. So, your city attorney is not here tonight, but I've reviewed these issues before. Just because a drain or a drainage system is scheduled for maintenance near a property that you have an interest in is not considered something that would give you an unfair economic advantage.
okay. So with that being said, thank you, Paul. I'd like to open it up to the public if anyone would like to comment on this item. Seeing no one, we'll go ahead and bring it back to the dais for a resolution.
Okay, I'll offer the resolution by title only. City of Cloverdale, City Council Resolution Number 070, 2017, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Cloverdale authorizing the city manager to amend the 2017-18 budget to incorporate the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, co-funding requirement for the proposed downtown drainage improvement project.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Brigham?
Aye.
Councilmember Bagby?
Aye.
Mayor Walter?
Aye. Moving right along, next item, item number 5, is consideration and adoption of resolution number 071, 2017, approving the title change for position of Support Services Supervisor to the title of Technical Services Manager. And Paul, is yours, I believe?
I'm going to ask Linda.
Oh.
Linda did the analysis on this under the. Linda wears two hats. She's the deputy city clerk as well as our human resources technician, and so Linda did the research on this proposed title change.
Good evening. So in my human resources role, I received a request from an incumbent asking for a title change. And upon studying the position, I didn't find a lot of really close comparables with other cities. But what I did find is that the smaller cities had supervisor positions that were non-exempt and had a lesser scope of responsibility with less variety, from what I could determine. So what I am recommending is that she is justified in the manager title instead of the supervisor title. She has specifically said she's not asking for a pay adjustment, and I don't believe one is warranted. Her pay compared to the smaller cities is higher, and it should be because she is FSLA exempt and not eligible for overtime. So I think the pay that she is getting is appropriate, and I also think that the title of manager is justified. And I think all of the supporting information is in the report. If you would like clarification or have additional questions, I am at your service.
Thank you, Linda. Council members?
Well, I reviewed the scope of the duties, and it seems to be well in line with that of manager, so I just don't see any problem with moving forward. And your report was excellent, laid out all of the information. I really appreciate it, you being so inclusive of, on everything, but it seemed very much in line with the title change.
Thank you. This also went to subcommittee and was recommended to full council.
Marianne?
I'm good.
Okay. Marianne, Councilmember Brigham, I'm sorry, and I actually touched this at the Finance Police Subcommittee meeting, and we concur that this is a justified change. So with that being said, there's one last resolution of the evening.
I'll recommend the resolution by title only. City of Cloverdale, City Council Resolution Number 071-2017, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Cloverdale amending the city personnel system to change the classification title of Support Services Supervisor to the classification title of Technical Services Manager.
And I'll second that.
In a roll call, Linda?
Councilmember Brigham,
Aye.
Councilmember Bagby,
Aye.
Mayor Walter.
Aye. Okay, next item. I'm sorry, did I open that up to the public? Okay. One of the three in the audience is good, so okay. Subcommittee reports. Airport?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. We met on the 3rd of October, and we heard some feedback from the residents around the airport regarding noise levels, and they were referred to the fact that the City Council and the City of Cloverdale, it's not within our jurisdiction really to make enforcements around the noise levels, and they were advised of that fact. And then the second item was by Airport Manager Morrissey was that there is a planned fly-in, and I believe it was supposed to be October 15th, was that the date? And I think that that has probably been tabled at this point based on recent events.
Yeah, I think so. I think that
Yeah.
the fire events are just.
Yeah, it's pushed everything out. So I'll have to bring you up to date on that at a later time. But those were the two main events at the airport subcommittee meeting.
Okay. The Finance and Police Subcommittee met. We discussed a variety of items. One of them was the title change that we just covered in item number 5. And the next meeting is October the 26th, 2017. Planning, Community Development, Marianne?
Our next meeting is October 17th.
How about the Public Works, Melanie?
Our next meeting is November 28th.
And there was no joint fire city subcommittee meeting, nor on Monday, there was no school district city subcommittee meeting. So I just noticed that there's no student liaison, so.
No, I received word that neither liaisons felt they could come tonight.
Okay, all right. With that being said, council reports, anything other than that was submitted?
No.
I unfortunately did not submit my report, and I think even if I had, Linda wouldn't have received it. So
That's correct.
that is correct. So unfortunately, I did make some quick notes, and if you need more details on any of my my meetings, please let me know, but I'll just give you a quick summary. On September 28th, City Engineer Rincon and I attended the Russian River Watershed Association meeting. The featured event was a presentation, and I don't have my notes with me, and so I'm doing this off the top of my head, but it's essentially an outgrowth of California Forward, where there is a push to try to come up with a unified water policy for the state of California. Don't everybody laugh at once. And actually, who's interested in coming and attending, because the Russian River Watershed Association is kind of the model that they're going to try to encourage some of the other regions, which is like we actually get together in a room and talk to each other and generally get along. So, well, there will be more information on that as it goes forward. On October 4th, I was pleased to attend the Safe Routes to School Walk and Roll with the kids from the elementary school and Bob and Jeannie Cox. Immediately following our walk and roll, we were hungry, so we went to Plank and attended Coffee with a Cop, and were able to get refreshments that day after our strenuous walk from the plaza to the elementary school and back. Yes, exactly, there and back. On October 5th, I attended my Sonoma Clean Power meeting. And then on October 7th, I attended, I recovered from my Sonoma Clean Power board meeting by attending Oktoberfest, where a good time was had by all, and pumpkins acquired, and music was fantastic. And now I look back on that Saturday as kind of the time before the fire, and everything else is after the fire. So, yeah, that is that, and that completes my report.
Thank you. By the time Cindy and I got to the Oktoberfest, they were out of food.
Had I drunk all the beer and eaten all the food?
No, you didn't drink all the beer, so that's okay. I have nothing to report. Legislative reports?
No, sir.
City manager, city attorney reports?
The only thing that I want to report out is that the Thursday's Mayors and Council Members Association meeting is canceled.
Okay. That was on my thing to ask you. With that being said, council members, is there anything else?
As well as the mayors and council meeting canceled, and the venue being in question, Daily Acts Ripple the World Breakfast, which I was planning on attend, has been canceled, and Daily Acts is donating all the food for that breakfast to feed the evacuees.
Good.
And they'll announce another date for the breakfast in the future.
Okay. Marianne, anything?
No, the only thing I did forget to ask is, the other question I'm getting a lot on phone call wise, and I don't know why they're calling me about it, is when is Comcast going to be on? And I got a hold of somebody at Comcast. They said they were sure it would be on by tomorrow morning at 8. And I said, really? Oh, yeah, nope, not a problem.
Now, give them the benefit of the doubt, Marianne. They have until 8:01 tomorrow morning. Okay.
First it was 7 o'clock, and then later it was 8 o'clock.
We don't have any information on Comcast. I mean, I can tell you what the rumor and gossip is on, in social media land.
Yeah.
But I just think that would be furthering bad information. I think it will be on when it's on. They know it's a problem. They're struggling with, a significant fire impact. I understand their main switch burned up.
Yeah. What I've seen is Thursday, and of course, that's a social media rumor, so it really can't be confirmed or denied. But I will say that the entire time that everyone else has been down, we've had Sonic.net and which is our local Sonoma County ISP, and we've been up the entire time. So we might want to look at in the future as part of the debriefing is that maybe not every agency in town is on Comcast. maybe, split the difference and split the risk up a little bit.
Yeah, and just one last thing. I just caution people, spreading unconfirmed information by social media.
Not good.
It really does not help, it doesn't help anybody. And I guess there's maybe a human condition that they like, people like to, bear false witness. But in a situation like this, spreading information or speculation, it really gets people, it creates anxiety that may not be necessary. So people out there that are watching and listening, I think they need to think about especially their activities on social media and what they are saying and what information they be spreading, because they really do need to look to make sure it's confirmed good information before sharing it with people.
Thank you, Paul. Anything else, council members? Okay, anything from the public? No? Once again, I want to thank staff for your work that you've been doing over the last couple of days, and Linda, thank you as well. And hopefully you're getting settled in okay. You're in charge over there now, so yeah, you must be. With that being said, meeting adjourned. Thank you.